It's time for the MoonShot Money Weekly Roundup, where Chase, Isaac, and Mike recap the investing week.
Good Friday, everyone, and welcome to the MoonShot Money Weekly Roundup. Along with Chase and Isaac Vickers, I'm Mike Vickers. We're glad to have you along with us, and we hope you've had a green week this week. It's Friday, February the 18th, 2022, and this is episode number 7. Hey guys, let's get started by me quickly looking back at a few of the highlights for this past week. The Rams win the Super Bowl, and
Yes,
the
sir.
Commercials are the thing most talked about.
Interesting.
Coinbase's Super Bowl ad with the bouncing QR code generated 20 million hits, but crashes the website. Yikes. The Omicron variant's fading away. Travel stocks are moving higher, which we love that. And I guess you have to keep mentioning the inflation, though. My truck fill up this past week took over $80 for the first time. And
Wow.
And then, Chase, I know you were telling me that my nephew, your cousin John West, his truck has a larger tank. It took over $120.
Sheesh.
We were driving from the golf course, and his truck said 0 miles to empty, so he's pushing the limit.
So, again, turn on the Keystone XL pipeline, Mr. President. Hey, guys, here's a real-life example of what working families are dealing with. You know the company Kraft Heinz, right? The ketchup people. They announced this week that they are raising prices to cover higher raw material costs and transportation costs.
Wow.
That's how inflation works. It's just terrible for hard-working American families. Hey, the state of Texas is suing Facebook for their face recognition practices. Russia is still being Russia. And the January retail sales were 3.8%, beating the 2% that was estimated. So that tells us the American people are still spending money. And I can't help this. The Tennessee Vols beat the Kentucky Wildcats in Knoxville Tuesday night.
Come on now.
Yeah. And listen, we found out this week that Elon Musk gave $5.5 billion with a B dollars worth of Tesla shares to charity.
Wow.
Just wow. And 3 radical members of the San Francisco School Board lost by a landslide in a recall election. So to that, I just say, And Palantir's earnings came out yesterday, and we're going to discuss that in just a minute. I believe, Chase, you're going to give us an update on that. But, hey, Isaac, you're back from the dentist this week, right? What's on the mastermind's mind?
Well, I just wish I had enough money to buy a Ferrari.
A Ferrari? Why in the world do you need a Ferrari?
I don't. I just wish I had enough money to buy one.
Oh, my goodness. You're killing us. Well, let me ask you this. Have you bought anything
Bitcoin.
Okay.
You say Bitcoin?
He said Bitcoin. He didn't let me get the question out before he said Bitcoin. Okay, so Chase, take a moment here and tell us a little bit about what you found out, what you heard about the Palantir earnings.
Yeah, before I get into that, I say I hope everyone had a good week. Speaking of the Super Bowl, what an awesome Super Bowl that was.
Yeah.
Enjoyed watching it. It was not a fan of either team, but don't hate either one. Didn't seem to be a villain there. I was cheering for Matthew Stafford and the Rams, but also I love Joe Burrow. So Great Super Bowl, a lot of fun. SoFi Stadium was impressive.
Yes, it was.
The commercials, you mentioned Coinbase and crashing the website. That was a pretty cool concept, what they did there. And then the LeBron James commercial with Crypto.com, I thought it was interesting. You mentioned Elon Musk. I actually heard someone say this week that cryptocurrencies and electric vehicles was the dominant commercials of the Super Bowl, and not one commercial from Elon or Tesla. And meanwhile, he donated $5 billion to charity. I'm sure they'll still find a way to criticize him on that, but pretty cool there. And I enjoyed that. Enjoyed the Super Bowl. A lot of fun on Sunday night. So the Palantir earnings report came out pre-market on Thursday, and they missed the EPS of 2 cents. They earned 2 cents per share, missing by 2 cents on that. The revenue was a beat by $14.7 million. The revenue of $432.8 million. Just a few bullet points that I made note of on Thursday morning was the year-over-year revenue was plus 34.4%. They added 34 net new customers in Q4 of 2021 and closed 64 deals of $1 million or more for that. And that 27 of those deals were for $5 million or more. And in 19 of those 64 deals were for $10 million or more. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it was.
In a statement, Alex Karp said that the annual revenue growth should be 30% or more through 2025. So that's good news. And then I was reading on Barron's, they had an article out that the fourth quarter commercial revenue was up 47%, including 132% growth in the United States commercial business.
That's good.
The government contract revenue rose 26%. For the full year, Palantir posted revenue of $1.54 billion, which was an increase of 41%. And commercial revenue was up $645 million, which was up 34%, while the government revenue was up 47% at $897 million. So that's kind of a quick recap on Palantir this week. Post-market, I know that it went straight down and definitely dropped on that, but that's kind of a snapshot on their earnings report.
Well, thanks, Chase. For me, Palantir has zero debt and $2.3 billion on the balance sheet. And what we have found out from Alex Karp over the last few weeks is that Foundry, their software platform Foundry, can be sold to every industry in every sector. Okay, so it's just a matter of time. I'm not super heavy in Palantir. I do have 6% of my portfolio in Palantir, but because of what you said, because of what I just said, I'm just fine just waiting on it.
Yeah.
So this week, I have bought J.P. Morgan Chase. I've bought more Chevron and Exxon. Again, I don't use Facebook, and I don't really like what they do with people's data. But it was continuing to slide this week, so I bought a little bit more, not to hold long term though. Facebook is an advertising monster, though. There's no doubt about that. So Chase, what about you? Have you bought anything this week?
Yeah, on Monday I treated myself to a Valentine's gift of buying Apple. So I bought more.
Happy Valentine's Day to you.
Happy Valentine's to me. Apple's certainly one of my largest holdings. I wanted to add to that on Monday. Pretty much not a whole lot this week. Bought Apple. I actually started a position in C Limited, and just thought based on where they had been in the past and the drop
Absolutely.
After the earnings. I mean, at one point, I think on the 52-week high for C Limited, $372, and was able to buy in the 130s.
Yeah.
I thought I'd try to capture that. And then took advantage of the drop in Palantir and have added to my position there. So, and I'm not very heavy in Palantir either. 4% of my portfolio is in Palantir, but I'm certainly looking to hold that for a long, long, long time. I was excited about the big beat for Airbnb after the close on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'm pretty heavy there in Airbnb, and also have a pretty good sized stake in NVIDIA. They had a good earnings report as well. So it was an exciting week overall.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. So now I want to say something. I sold something this week that I was wrong about, and that is Viacom CBS. I wanted to make sure I said this to everybody. I bought it over the last couple of weeks leading up to the earnings, and they missed. It was not good, and they're rebranding to Paramount. So I just wasn't willing to sit there with that, so I took a little bit of a loss and moved on from Viacom CBS. I, too, also could not resist buying some C Limited. This is the first time I've ever owned this company, but they have been down 56, 57, 58% in the last 3 months. and they were almost down 20% on Monday alone. So they are a digital entertainment company, an e-commerce platform, digital payment solutions. So they do all these things. Its volatility is only for the brave.
Yeah, no doubt.
Especially if you were someone that's had bought up in the upper levels of that and you're a bag holder. So that's pretty much this week. Are all minds clear?
So clear.
Very clear.
All right. So on our way out the door, let me thank you for being with us today. Thanks for all the interaction from all of you. Hit that like button for us and subscribe. And if you leave a comment below, one of us is going to get back in touch with you. We really appreciate the comments and the private interactions about these podcast format videos. So have a great weekend, everybody.